build a strong base around a fair and just climate policy. If you look at today's paper, there's a front page article about Louisiana being ground zero for climate change and the need for legislation to deal with that. And in that article, you'll see comments from the representatives of our oil and gas industry saying, "Nuh-uh, we don't need that. That's unnecessary. More studies are needed." They don't want the change. If you look at the Metro section of today's paper, there's a letter to the editor written by 2 members of Congress from Jefferson Parish here in Louisiana and Southwest Louisiana, which is Charles Boustany, who's the representative of the folks from Mossville Environmental Action Now, saying that, you know what, the oil and gas industry have been protective of our environment. Okay? As a lawyer, I love it when people just lie, because that means, okay, the truth is on my side. I don't feel like, oh, how could they say that? It's like, great, that's wonderful, because we can really show what the truth is. It's not something that makes us go, oh, well, you know, are they right in that? Is our environment being protected by all of these oil and gas industries? Clearly not. But they're making that point out of sheer desperation. So we shouldn't feel outnumbered or outpowered by the folks on the oil and gas industry side. We should feel very empowered because we know that we're here because there's a sense of wanting justice for all people, and there's a sense of loving the places that we live in, wanting to protect those places, and we can't do it under current conditions. We need change, and we need to inform ourselves about how to go about it. And I'm just so glad that everybody's here at this climate change conference to talk about how to change the policies and the conversations around those policies so that justice can be achieved. Thank you.
Before we voted Barack Obama to the White House, running the country has always been in the hands of the elite. And it is also true worldwide. People are sitting in their beautiful homes, their beautiful offices, making decisions impacting our lives. Based on research and consultant, and that's how they make decisions. I came to this country as a refugee. And when I went to Washington, D.C., or I went to Geneva to talk about refugee and displacement issue and how it impacted women in those camps, I met people who were making decisions who had never stepped into a refugee camp. So I felt very powerful telling them, this is what I went through. This is not, I have human rights. I have rights in the world, and you signed those rights. And this is how you let me live my life, many years of my life in the camp. And you are letting a lot of women living in those conditions right now. And I can tell you, I could feel the power of my words to these people, because I am speaking for truth. I'm very happy that we're launching our campaign in Katrina, in New Orleans and the Gulf Coast, because you personally have been hard hit, and you know how hard it is to recover from it. And you know how much it has affected your communities, especially the women in your communities who are among the poor of the poor. So it is very important that we, the people, stand up and talk from our experience and demand changes. Because they can sit there and talk about human rights and everything they want to say, but they've never seen it. They've heard about it, they've read about it. But that's reality. But nobody wants to admit that I've never, know. But they have the power, the possibility of making those laws that affect our lives and the lives of our children. So for us today, it's very important. This is the first step for us to have a healthy, clean planet for us, but also for our children, our grandchildren. Okay? It's not just for tomorrow. It's for the future. It's of 10 more future generations that we're protecting. The Women's Environment and Development Organization has been working with civil society, the United Nations, and government to make sure that women are brought to the table. We know by experience that women have been caretakers of communities. We know we manage natural resources. We know we're agents of change. But we've never been invited to the table by the elite, and most of the elite are men. I'm sorry, there's a few courageous men sitting in here, but that's reality.
That is the reality.
And we believe that we can have a positive impact on mitigating the effect of climate change. Policymakers have a lot to learn from women worldwide because they have been adapting to environmental changes for centuries. Isn't it time for them to learn from us? WeDo has been going around the country in the US and in many countries in the world to raise the awareness on the impact of climate change on women and the role we can play. We as a people can play in advocating. And so we are supporting women and some men to advocate with their government on climate change strategies regionally, locally, and globally. I'm not going to go and talk about what we want from our government. You are already doing it. But it's our role to step up there and speak the truth and speak about what we want to see happening for our planet, our natural resource, our communities, and protect our vulnerable communities. So I hope that you will all join us in Washington, D.C., talking, even here in Louisiana, in Washington, D.C., and all the way to Copenhagen, to urge governments all over the world to come up with a fair and just climate change, climate strategies to protect vulnerable people and our planet, so that together we have more generations who can really enjoy a clean and healthy planet. So I look forward to a very fruitful meeting today, and together we're going to do the work. Thank you very much.
Yay.